Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Slow Crafting Podcast. My name's Nadine. I'm coming to you today from the northwest of England near Manchester. This is a roughly bi-weekly podcast talking about my attempts to incorporate a slow living or slow fashion agenda into increasing my handmade wardrobe and other knitting, spinning, sewing, crocheting, other fabric and fibre related crafty endeavours. Right, for those of you that have been before and watched before, you'll be aware that I was been working on my number 3 of my 4 outfits for the year. And today I'm going to be showing you a completed outfit. I'm not going to wear it though because it's too hot and too sweaty to be getting changed into things. Probably doesn't help that I'm very hot at the moment, that I appear to be wearing what is essentially a dress made of plastic. Yes. It has been in my wardrobe for nearly 15 years, so I'm allowing it. So obviously, in an ideal world, my wardrobe would be filled with sustainable and natural fibres. However, if my dress isn't broken and it still fits, I will wear it until it falls to pieces and I can't repair it anymore. So that being said, today I'm essentially wearing a plastic dress in what is, there's a thermometer up here, 30-degree heat in my conservatory. Yes, I didn't really think that through this morning, but never mind. I'll show you the schematic of the illustration of what I wanted this time's outfit roughly to look like. So it was a crocheted shawl, a colourwork yoke cardigan, a shift dress-ish, and then some hand knit socks as well. Right, the shawl I showed you last time, which was finished, so I'll just give you a quick flash of that again. This is the True Love shawl by Michelle Denier. I put the links in the last episode. I've still not woven in that end, but I don't care. So yes, made with the Erica Knight studio linen, which is lovely. And I mentioned last time that I was reviewing, I'd made this partly as a review of the yarn for the Minerva Crafts website. Now speaking to Vicky over at Minerva, and she's confirmed that my review blog post will go live on their site on, I think it's about the 2nd of August. So I'll put a link in the drop box down below for a link across to the blog section of their website, so you can keep an eye on it if you're interested and want to know more about the Erica Knight linen. Right, oh, I should have said that this True Love shawl is a paid for pattern. I did mention that last time. But yes, Erica Knight. In case you hadn't noticed, my youngest, also called Erica, is playing in the background as I'm recording this. So any mention of Erica or Erica Knight, which is all ears. But yes, this pattern, it's paid for, it's very, very worth it. It's brilliantly written. It's got written instructions and charted. And it makes a lovely shawl at the end of it. That's that. The socks, they were just using some stash yarn. I think it's details of it are in the last episode. I think it's by Grundle, and it was just from our local yarn shop. It's a standard 75-25 wool. Erica, darling. 75 wool, 25 nylon mix. But as it's stash, I'm happy to live with that. And it has a really boring number instead of a colourway. But a close up, it's got the it's just my standard size vanilla sock, but I've done the modified garter Eye of Partridge heel in it from the Hermione's Everyday Socks, because I've been enjoying doing a heel flap and gusset, which I never used to do, rather than the Fish Lips Kiss heel on my socks at the moment. I don't know whether it was just I fancied a change, or sometimes the Fish Lips Kiss doesn't quite fit me as nicely as I'd like, especially when I've had them on for a while. But yes, they're all done. They're quite short in the cuff, but I don't mind that because I'll probably be wearing them either over tights or with leggings, and it doesn't need to come halfway up my shin. Right, last time I showed you that I think it was part way through the cardigan. I've possibly done one sleeve, always part way through the sleeve, and I've done the, but I've certainly done the colour work anyway. So this is the cardigan. Now I've used the Afmele pattern by Veris Jansdottir, but I'll put links to that down below. But if you're familiar with the pattern, you will know that that is made with Let Lope, and it's a jumper rather than a sweater rather than a cardigan. And just a minute, yes. Okay, we'll just put it outside to dry. Okay. Just put it outside to dry. And I'd always intended this to be a cardigan, but I'd planned on having the yoke joined and just being open from sort of the bottom of the yoke down to the rest of the body. But then, if you watched last time, I did mention that I'd ended up with a Mobius yoke, unintentionally. So I'd just finished the colour work and then steeped it and opened it up and straightened it out. And I had planned, once I'd picked up the button bands, on sewing it back down with sort of like maybe 3 buttons just in the top to keep it closed. But I've not done that in the end. In fact, I've not got any buttons on here at all. I'm going to have it just as an open cardigan, because I tried it when I tried it on, and I sort of overlapped it to look how it would sit if I just fastened it with 3 buttons there, and it looks a bit odd. So I thought, right, I'll not do that. I'll just leave it open and have it as an open cardigan. And there are a couple of other bits I've changed as well since I last spoke to you. So I was going to have a full length sleeves, but a slightly cropped body, because I didn't know if I'd have enough yarn. Now, I was working on the sleeve length because I knitted the yoke. I did a provisional cast on from the bottom of the yoke and knitted upwards for the yoke, and then I picked up stitches and then knitted down for the rest of the body. So I was knitting down for the sleeves. Now I didn't use the sizing for the sleeves from the Afmele because I've got quite beefy upper arms, but then they're not relatively slim forearms, but the shaping wouldn't have fitted as nicely as I'd wanted it to on my arms if I'd have done just the standard increases. As it was, I just worked it straight down to about my elbow with no decreases at all, and then sort of did a few, and then I did a straight section again, and then did a few. So it probably looked weird and wonky on anybody else, but it fits the shape of my arm. So that's quite nice. But yes, I was trying it on as I went, and I went, oh yes, that's the right length for my sleeve. I'll do my moss stitch cuff on the end, and then I'll go on to the next one. Now, I did the exact same shaping and length for the second sleeve, and then I finished off the body, but I tried it on once I'd done both sleeves, and the body was still on a needle, still being worked. And the first thing I did, well, was pull my sleeves up, because I'm used to having 3/4 length sleeves, and I generally, whatever, I can't do with this because the cuffs are too tight, but whatever top I've got on, I've got my sleeves pulled up. So I thought, but as it turns out, when I pull them back down again, they are half an inch too short in the arm anyway. So I think I am going to wear them pulled up to 3/4 length sleeves. What do you need to tell me, darling? I need some more water. I'll grab the little bit that's left. Okay, thank you. Yes, so I thought, oh, if I'm going to pull it up, I might as well work the body a bit longer. And luckily I had enough wool, because the body is sort of down to my hips, so it's a full length cardigan. And it fits in a really nice scale. It's got moss stitch band at the bottom, and then I picked up and did a moss stitch band on both sides. If you want to look at the inside of my colour work, you can do. It's quite neat actually, quite even tension. Where I steeked it, I'd done a crochet reinforcement, and then I'd turned it back and sewn it down once I'd steeked it, but just to tidy it up, and because these are just scrap yarn or waste yarn, leftover project from previous projects, and they're not all rustic woolly wools. There's superwash and some alpaca and all sorts in there. So rather than risk it coming unravelled, I sewed a piece of ribbon, this little cute matryoshka ribbon, on the inside, just where the steek was. So that's basically how long the steek was. And I just think it just tidies it up. And it's nice to have matryoshkas on my cardigan. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you where this ribbon's from, because my mum gave it to me last time I went home. So she'll have squirreled it away from somewhere. She'll have been into like a craft fair or a craft shop or something and picked it up, because she knows I love matryoshkas. So she'll have, oh, that for Nadine. Oh yeah, did I even tell you what my name was? If not, I'm Nadine. Hello. Did I mention it was 30 degrees and I'm not used to the heat? Anyway, yeah, so that's the cardigan finished, and I'm really happy with it. It's nice, and it's blocked beautifully. I know I mentioned last time, but this sort of green that's 4 different colours in the one yarn, in the stocking stitch when it's blocked, it's just beautiful. I think it is anyway. But yeah, it looks lovely, and it fits really nicely, and I'm very much looking forward to taking this on holiday with me next week. So yes, that's comfy, and like I said last time, I am more than happy to set about my knitting with scissors now after this. So that's that. And then the final item, you see it's behind me, this is the dress that I was planning on making. I was just looking, oh, it's at the bottom of the pile. Oh. Right, I showed you the fabric last time, so I had sort of a khaki green colour and some recycled curtain fabric, which was sort of a cream background, then with a khaki coloured green leaf print on it, and a bit of brown for sort of twigs and things. And I was making dress F from the Stylish Dress book, which is, show you what it's supposed to look like. I'll show you the original picture. So you can't really tell from that because it's such a busy fabric, but I'll show you the schematic. Yeah, here we go. So it's essentially, Eric, can you turn that off please? It's a shift dress with a slit in the neckline, and it's supposed to have sleeves on, but I haven't put the sleeves on. Erica, you can, if you want to play with it, look, can you go outside and do it? It's nursery rhyme time, everybody. So yes, but because I didn't have enough of the fabric with the leaf on, I was using the solid colour around the bottom. No, that's too loud, darling. It's too loud. Can you go take it further outside, please? Yeah, I didn't have enough of the printed fabric, so I was going to use the plain to just make a colour block band around the bottom. And I was going to do embroidery of a bird on the bottom as well. I was planning on having some inseam pockets on the final dress as well. Now, I do have a pattern for a pattern piece for some inseam pockets, but it's I've got it as a PDF, and my printer decided not to work this week, so I couldn't print it off and then use that to improvise the pockets. So I've got patch pockets, which I said I didn't want last time. However, they do sit slightly nicer in this because on my last dress I made them, but the cotton was quite thin, so they were very flappy and didn't sit nicely, especially when you had something in the pockets. But this fabric, because it's thicker, does seem to cope better with having things in your pockets without your patch pocket flopping open and looking a bit odd. Now, I briefly considered the idea of drafting my own pattern piece for my inseam pockets, because I thought, oh, can't be that hard, and then thought no, because I'll end up with a wonky angle, because essentially it's just a curved shape on an angle about the size of your hand going into your pocket. But I thought no, I'll mess it up, I'll just have a patch pocket on this one. And because I put the patch pockets on, originally the embroidery was going to be on the bottom around the colour block band, but I changed my mind and put it on the pockets on the dress in the end. And if you'll be able to, how well you'll be able to see this. So here's the colour block bottom band, and here's the rest of the dress. Oh yes, I didn't mention. I was planning on dyeing it a green colour with just a standard Dillon dye pack. Now, as you can see, it's quite blotchy. That was partially my intention. I didn't want it to be a solid block of colour. I would have been happier, however, in all honesty, if I didn't have such stark contrast. So this bit here, and there's some bits under the arms. Now, I don't mind it, but I would have been happier had they not been quite so obvious. And then it's just got the two quite deep, actually, because I made these deeper than the last ones, because I used the same pattern piece for the pocket on here as I did on the dress that I made last time. Now this slit here I have actually sewed together at the top, because once I'd cut it, well, for a start it's slightly wonky and that bugs me, but it didn't sit nicely open. I don't know whether the fabric was too heavy, and it just sort of kept crossing over itself. So I've just tacked that together with a little stitch just to keep it in place. and we'll see how we get on with that. I'll show you a close-up of the embroidery. Oh, the back's just plain. There's no sort of darts or shaping in it. It is quite a simple shape, but it's really comfy. Really comfy to wear. I'll see if we get a close up of this embroidery. Oh, there we go. I'll tell you what, I'll fold it up and hold it a bit closer, then you can get a better view. So I decided to do the same, just use some embroidery cotton that I had in stash, and there we go, little bird on the pocket. Now I drew the design on, and then I did a rough running stitch round the design, and then I couched. Yes, I think it's couched. Yeah, that where I've done the running stitch, so that it does stand up slightly proud from the surface. And I've got one on each pocket, and they're facing like beaks towards each other. And yeah, the image that I used for this is a modified version of just a bird black line drawing that I found on Pinterest. I've added in a bit more detail than the original had, but I was sewing on it actually at a soft play centre. I've been for a party. I've taken my children to a birthday party there, and I thought, right, if I'm going to a soft play centre, I need something to do. So I can either take my knitting or I can take my sewing, and because I wanted to get this finished, I took my sewing, because I just had it obviously on the patch pocket, so I just took the pocket with me and was sewing on it there. And I did have quite a number of like other parents at the party ask what I was sewing, and a few of the children came up to have a look as well. Bless her, one of the girls did ask me what I was knitting. Sewing. But one of the little boys wanted to know what kind of bird it was that I was sewing. I'm like, it's just a bird. Apparently that wasn't a good enough explanation. I had to come up with a proper definition of what type of bird it was. So my other half did say it looked like a mutant cross between a wren and a robin. So that's what we'll have it as. And I really do like robins and wrens. Quite like all birds actually, but no. So there we go, and that's that finished. I haven't worn this. I've worn it to try it on, but I haven't worn it yet because I was saving it for when we go on holiday. Oh yes, I just used bias binding around the neckline and the armholes, and at the hemline as well. I didn't because I liked the width of the. I only had enough of the green fabric to do a stripe that wide, and I liked that width of stripes. I think any narrower, it wouldn't have looked quite right. So I used the bias binding on the hem rather than doing a traditional hem on it. So yeah, that's that finished. But I haven't worn it because I'm saving it for going on holiday. So it's quite nice. I think most of my wardrobe that I'm taking on holiday is going to be handmade. So that's making me very, very happy. There are going to be obvious things that aren't, like my coat for one. What did you say? Yes. Can I do it in a minute? Because I've nearly finished. Okay. Sorry. Small children. Completely lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so handmade wardrobe. Yeah, so my coat. That's not handmade, and it's not natural fibres either. But slowly. we'll get there in the end, and it will be replaced with something more sustainable when it eventually is no longer wearable. So yes, that's that done. Next time, I think it'd probably be, I was hoping to record another one before I went away, but I don't think I'll have time. But when we come back, which will be a couple of weeks from now, so it's probably going to be near enough 3 weeks by the time I record again, I'll show you the sewing that I did for my children and my other half for us to take on holiday with us. Yes, now I didn't just make outfits because we were going on holiday. My other half, I did get the for my birthday. Yeah, oh, it's going to be my birthday when we're on holiday. I'm just being reminded by my small child. Yes. Yeah, there were items that they needed over the summer period anyway for the children. Pardon? You're a big girl. I know you are, darling. I know you are. And then my other half, I've been promising to make him a shirt for the last year, so I thought it was about time I actually did. But yes, I'll show you all those next time I come. And in the meantime, have a lovely time, and I shall see you when I get back from Orkney. All right then, take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.